How goes the family? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully you guys having a great and exceptional day. All right, so it's been a while since I have had the opportunity to highlight black-owned businesses, family. So let's get it. Serena Quick, who you see behind me, owns 3 Chick-fil-A's in Pennsylvania, one in New Jersey, and one in Delaware. And since those states are basically connected, I mean, I grew up in the DMV area, which is the Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland area. And, used to go visit family in New York and Connecticut. And we always go through Maryland to get to Delaware, and then from Delaware to get to New Jersey. And obviously, New Jersey is connected to Delaware, Delaware is connected to Pennsylvania, and Delaware is connected to Maryland, and Delaware is connected to New Jersey. So, because if you look at even Wilmington, Delaware, it's right down the street from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So that's why I said it's just like it's a beautiful thing that she owns these Chick-fil-A's in these areas, and she's from Philadelphia. So this is home to her. This is her stomping grounds. So it's a beautiful thing all at the same time. Mrs. Quick stated that it really is astounding, just this accomplishment to really inspire and motivate the people in our community. And it sounds like she's very passionate about what she's doing with her franchises. And with franchises, it's hard work, a lot of hard work. But with the best part about owning a franchise is that the framework for prosperity and success is already there. It's already in place. So if you're able to get, and I've actually been around owners of a Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A that's in, I don't know if they still own this Chick-fil-A, but it's a Chick-fil-A in Crystal City, which is right outside of Washington, D.C., Crystal City, Virginia. And they were from, I believe they were Korean descent, but they were from Atlanta, Georgia. And they had a business down there in Atlanta, Georgia that didn't work out. And they were on the list for like 3 to 5 years to become franchisee owners of Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's headquarters is in Atlanta, Georgia. And they were finally accepted, and this is back in like 2010, 2011. I can't, like I said, it was a lifetime ago. They were finally accepted, but what ended up happening is they had to move up to the DMV area in Virginia, because that's how it is a lot of times. I remember when I was looking into franchising a 7-Eleven years ago, just wanted to see what the possibilities could be. One of the guys who was a manager at 7-Eleven was like, well, there are a lot of ways for you to become a franchisee with 7-Eleven for free. No down payment, no nothing. However, 9 times out of 10, you got to end up going to a place like upstate New York or the middle of Ohio, one of these hole-in-the-wall places. I'm not going to say hole-in-the-wall, but desolate places that are more rural and quiet, because, there's 7-Elevens everywhere all over the country for the most part. And I wasn't as dedicated to that back then as I would be if I wanted to do something right now, uproot my life to a place that has nothing going on, just in order for me to be successful in being a franchisee with 7-Eleven. But the fact that happens I think it's a pretty amazing thing. That's just my personal opinion. So that's why I wanted to talk about this situation, because I met with and had various conversations with a Chick-fil-A franchisee owner, one, and then two, I have had the pleasure of talking to a franchise organization to see the do's and don'ts and how one can go about becoming a franchisee with their organization, for example, 7-Eleven. So that's the reason why I wanted to talk about this. I thought this was very interesting. Anyways, back to the story at hand. We'll talk about Mrs. Quick. All right. These corporations have a multitude of training programs when I'm talking about franchising and mentorship programs all at the same time. Especially in today's online world where we have information overload, information at our hand, being able to network with people is actually way more easier now than it ever has been in any time in history, because there's way more online and in-person conferences. There's so many groups. There's so many ways to engage with people. You don't just have to physically be face-to-face with people in today's world. But eventually you need to. And with that being said, the onus is on you/us to find the information in order for us to become more successful. The article stated that growing up in the public housing community of Raymond Rosen homes and raised in a single parent home, she faced many challenges. And before I go on, this is a shining example of a person who, quote unquote, grew up in government housing, but didn't ask for handouts. She was just looking for a handout. And that's what I'm all about on that aspect. So that's why I got to give much love and respect for somebody who came from this environment and it's kicking butt, because she's like, I'm never going back. But I'm going to not only not go back, but when I do go back, I'm going to bring something to the economically viable to the table by opening up businesses in those kind of communities. So hat goes off to her. Salute. Keep up the good work, young lady. All righty. Anyways, as you can see, I'm very passionate about this subject matter, and that's why I chose it. Okay, so where was I at? So she faced many challenges, but she did not let it stop her. She graduated college and started in a career as a juvenile probation officer in Philadelphia. So she started off in law enforcement. Her career took a turn when she moved to California, my favorite state, and connected with Joan Hopper, the owner/operator of a Chick-fil-A Auto Mall Parkway in Fremont, California. So she was in Northern California. Inspired by this mentorship, she decided to transition into the restaurant industry. And before I go on, this proves about who you associate with matters. And if you have good intentions, good things can happen to you. And if you are constantly surrounded by people who have good intentions and are about doing things, then good things can happen for you. But if you're surrounded by losers and basic-minded people, then you're basically in the wrong circle if you have things that you want to do outside of the people that are around you. And just me watching a programming today on business with Jason Black, and he's talking about how he's had to cut people off because he's when he was in high school, because he realized that the person that he hung around his whole life, he's like, that person's not on the same journey I'm on. That person is stuck, and they're not going to grow. So therefore, I can't be around them. And the older I get, the more I'm learning that about myself. It's like I cut people off because I'm like, okay, you're not about anything. You're not about what I'm about, one or two. Whatever you're about, it's not the journey that I'm trying to go on. You're happy with being basic, and I'm not. I'm very unhappy with being basic and uncompetitive. So I leave it at that. But anyways, life goes on. I digress. But anyways, like I said, I keep getting caught up because this is real life stuff here. So I'm very passionate about this at the end of the day. Anyways, the article also stated that she later returned to Philadelphia, where she continued to learn from experienced operators like Stanley Weber and Chris Welsh. Once again, being around the right people. In just 3 years, Quick went from being an executive director at Chick-fil-A Malvern in Pennsylvania, to becoming a proud owner of her Chick-fil-A restaurant in the state. And before I go on with that, you see, she didn't just say, I'm going to be a franchisee owner. She actually wanted to learn the business. Rick Ross, whether you love him or hate him, is irrelevant. When it came to him owning Wingstops, he said he knows how to do every single job at Wingstop. That was his whole thing. If I'm going to be successful in this, I need to know how to do every single job in this place in case the bottom falls out, in case people decide they don't want to work. Whatever the case may be, I want to be experienced and knowledgeable enough in order for me to be successful. I may have enough money to buy Wingstops, but I want to have enough money. I want to have enough knowledge and experience to be able to ensure that I have a successful Wingstop. And it's the same thing with this person. Whole situation, Mrs. Quick's situation, where she's like, hey, I'm going to learn the corporate aspects of the organization. I'm going to get the right mentorship, and then I'm going to get my money together, get the right financing, and then I'm going to execute. So nothing but love and respect on this aspect, okay? All right, and this is great, especially given the fact that, like I said, she's a native of Philadelphia. She never forgot who she is and where she came from. I love it. The article ended on this note, family, stating that the new store on City Ave, owned and operated by Quick, is set to create over 100 jobs, contributing positively to the local community. Quick, who grew up in North Philadelphia, expressed gratitude to the opportunity to give back to the city and empower future leaders. She stated that, I am passionate about creating long-term positive change in my community, and I look forward to this new chapter in the place where I was born and raised, she said. And I think that just sums it up right there. This, ladies and gentlemen, is all around the world. Family is known as the ultimate money move. So please keep up the great work, Mrs. Quick, because in the presidential and congressional election, local elections, even if this conversation is not being had and it doesn't involve economics, access to capital, assets, then we have nothing to talk about. You do not deserve my vote. They're playing you. I'll just put it like that. I don't care if it's the Republican or Democrat, Trump or Harris, being played. But that's just my personal opinion. So keep up the great work, Mrs. Quick. you inspire us all. Oops. All right, there we go. All right, so don't forget to check out my online store. Sell a variety of products. You can get your make money moves, apparel, all that great stuff, and a variety of other things. So check out my online Shopify store. If you're a stock market investor, crypto investor, individual retirement account investor, don't forget to check out WEBULL, Acorns, Crypto.com, Coinbase. For those platforms, you'll be able to make some money moves by buying stocks, bonds, cryptocurrencies, open up an individual retirement account to have a little bit more retirement savings when you get older and things of that nature, and be able to go from there. Links are in the descriptions, all right? So, but these are great stories. I don't talk about them enough as I used to, but I will ensure that I do it at least once a month because these stories matter the most, all right? So do the great three things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. Make money moves, or you're going to live like a fool. Remember, it's 2024. You can't get fired if you own the company. It's time if you don't own something. Take care.